What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the PG Sports Podcast. Our special guest today is Jemile Weeks. We're going to talk some baseball. We're going to talk to what he's up to now. It's going to be a good one.
All right,
What's
we
up?
good?
Yeah, we
What's
good
going
now?
on, man? Yeah, I heard that, though. Mine's been doing the same thing on our show that we have.
Yeah. I think, I started doing them, whenever all the virus started, and most of them have been pretty good. And then now, since probably, I don't know if everyone's probably everyone's doing them now, and Instagram's trying to figure it out, I guess.
I think so. I know the algorithm's got to be crazy right now.
Yeah. So what have you been up to just like during the virus right now?
Honestly, man, quarantining like we're supposed to be doing. Quarantining. I got two little girls at home, and we started this show, man. I started the show. We've been interviewing certain guys. It's called Real Talk Sports Talk, and we've been jumping in on that. So we've had, Edwin Jackson, D. Gordon, me, myself, and James Davidson. Edwin Jackson, D. Gordon. We had Gary Sheffield, and we just started HBCU Live series as well. Wednesday, so Saturdays and Wednesdays. So that's been taking up my time for the most part.
Yeah.
And I just stay active, man. I wake up, I do my runs, and I also have a nonprofit. We're doing a Father's Initiative that's happening in June. So it's quite a bit of things going on. I can do a lot of stuff at home, so I'm probably one of the busiest persons.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. People keep on asking me, "Are you bored?" And I'm just like, "No, not really, to be honest."
Right, we out here getting it.
Yeah. So let's go into your baseball career a little bit. Like, first, how'd you start getting involved in baseball?
Just in general, man. Throughout my history, like my grandfather was, he played with a lot of Negro League athletes, baseball players. He went to a lot of the tryouts, was able to play with those guys. From the likes of Satchel Paige and the Roy Campanellas inside the game. That trickled down to my father, Rickie Weeks Sr., who also played, and he played at the high school level in New Jersey, and he was an all-state baseball player in New Jersey, and he brought his talents down to Florida, and at Stetson University as well. And then on top of that, he ended up going to UCF, which brought my brother years later. My mom and my dad did whatever they had to do. And my brother along, you know what I mean? And, he started playing, and I came up behind him as my sister, and then I came. And it was just groomed. It was like a family in the bloodline thing, man. We just started playing the game, amongst other sports, but baseball has always been in our bloodline.
Yeah, what was it like to see your brother getting drafted, and you're 5 years younger than him, or 4 years?
Yeah, 4.5, like a 4.5 year period in between. Seeing him get drafted, I mean, that's motivation. It was complete motivation. I was in high school at the time, so like the news, camera crews, everybody, they came to our house. My brother was there. I mean, you had the Channel 9 news here in Altamont Springs, Orlando, Florida area, and it was lit, bro. It was lit. So I saw everything from that perspective. And I was able to kind of follow in those footsteps and understand what it looked like, what it felt like. And immediately I was like, does everything change? Are we about to live in Are we about to be, you know what I mean? I didn't know. We didn't really, you know what I'm saying? We just two kids that came up playing the game. And for me to see it was at least motivating, exhilarating for me to be able to have some more ammunition in my own bag to go out here and do what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it like, I mean, because it's always like we like know what happens from afar, but like you seeing it in person for the first time, like your brother like getting drafted to the MLB, and then were you like, all right, I could really get drafted to the MLB too?
Yeah, I'll say I knew that I could get drafted because he got. But I'll also say, like, man, we came up hard-nosed. We came up playing the game a certain way that I believe it was just tailored for a professional style if we were able to maximize what we were taught and the way we were groomed to play. So him getting drafted. But him getting
That's what I want
drafted,
them to do next. I want them to do the three-way on this.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. Like, when can we do the three-ways out here? But yeah, that was it. My brother just called me right now, so he obviously doesn't know what's going on. But him getting drafted literally was kind of like, okay, everything we've been doing, everything we've been working on, it works. You know what I mean? He came up. I was a younger brother, of course, but he would throw the balls as hard as he could. We would be out there in the front yard hitting against each other. You know what I mean? I'm 9. He's like 13, 14. But I was kind of like, his practice partner. So
Yeah.
I knew what got him there. I came through the same system of what got him there. So when I seen that, it was kind of like, okay, the light clicked. Like, if you keep doing what you need to do, you can be there as well. It definitely had an
Yeah. So then you got drafted out of high school. It's like 2 years later.
yeah,
So what was that like? What was that experience like? And then what was your ultimate decision to go to college?
crazy. I mean, that whole experience is a story in itself. I'll probably write a book about that story one day. I got drafted out of high school and ended up going to college, turning down the most money at that time in University of Miami history. Shout out to the Hurricanes.
There you go.
But for real though, like it was the highest amount that anybody had ever turned down in University of Miami history to go to school. So I got drafted. It was they got me in the 14th round, I believe it was. They were giving me second round money, somewhere around 500,000 or so, and we negotiated all throughout the summer. My dream school was University of Miami, so University of Miami was already on me. So of course I had two options that I was like, I want to do both of these options. Like, y'all put in front of me, how can we do both of these? And my mom, being a spiritual person, praying woman, she kind of gave me the insight that you should pray about it, meditate on it. But you have to come up with this decision. You know what I mean? My dad kind of followed along the same lines of me coming up with this decision, because what their whole thing was is that this next decision is going to propel you into your future. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have a D1 college that's prestigious. You have a Major League Baseball opportunity that nobody gets the opportunity to do that. I mean, it's like 1% of the world half the time. And so it's just kind of like, what do you want to do, and figure it out? I talked to my brother, I talked to my sister, and it was like, no, you got to be a man and make this decision. And I didn't want to be a man and make this decision.
Yeah.
Like, man, somebody help me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just came down to this, bro. It was just we negotiated the team, Milwaukee Brewers. I remember they were giving me like 500, then they went to like 600,000. 600,000, and went to 700,000. And I'm like, no, I want $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, I want $1 million. They want to hit me. It's got to be $1 million away from my dream school. So I won $1 million. So they went from 700. Then it got to like July, right? And University of Miami was giving me a decent scholarship. I can't really do everything that they gave me, but it was a decent scholarship. But because Major League Baseball was so heavily on me, we had the opportunity to negotiate. So I was telling them, like, y'all gonna have to up the scholarship for me to go college versus going to professional ball. These guys are offering me 700,000 now. So it came like this, bro. They upped the scholarship. It was probably, I don't want to say the percentages because it might be unfair to the other players at the U, but it was an upper percentage. But I also had academic as well. I was strong academic in high school. So I wanted more baseball, though, scholarship. So they upped it. It wasn't everything I wanted because I wanted a full ride. You know what I mean? It's really what I wanted out of them. And so it went from there to going back to the pro teams. I was still playing that summer with the Florida Bombers down in Miami, Florida, with all my boys that actually went to University of Miami after that. So I did that, and they upped the number with the major league side to 800,000. So when it started getting to like the 800, bro, I was kind of like, that $1 million ain't that important. Like, them little extra 200 grand, I could just go ahead and take this 800 and start big leagues. I mean, in the professional ranks to get to the big leagues. But I stayed true, stuck to my guns, and kept pushing that $1 million figure. And I'll say right before, about 2 weeks before going to University of Miami, University of Miami pretty much gave me what I was looking for. And I knew I could go there, and that was something that was already set. And then on the other end, Major League Baseball upped the number up again. At this point, they were up to like 820,000. So I was like, listen, y'all give me 950 something or something close to I'm telling you this million, but you keep trying to give me less than what I'm telling you. You know?
Yeah.
So I thought like this. I had these 3 ideas that I wanted to do when I got to college. I watched my brother play for the USA team. These guys traveled to Italy. They went to different countries, right? And they played for the USA team. Shout out my brother Vic in here, and my friend Keezy as well. But anyways, I went to Europe. I mean, my brother went to Europe, and I watched all these things happen. And he was also an All-American, but he never went to the College World Series either. So for me, I saw those things, and I admired some of those things. So what I really wanted to do was go to college, and I wanted to be that All-American. I wanted to experience the College World Series, and I wanted to experience playing on the USA team, traveling out the country to go play, because you don't even do that in Major League Ball unless they have the World Baseball Classic or whatnot. Me, those things were on my plate on the college side, and I really wanted to accomplish those things, like deep down in my heart. Came down to it like this, bro. I prayed about it, did all my meditative things that I needed to do about it, kept playing throughout the summer, and something just came to me, you know. I feel like it was God. It just came to me, and it was like, look, if you go to college, you have the opportunity to be an All-American, the opportunity to go to College World Series, and the opportunity to play on the USA team. If you go pro, you lose that opportunity. But you go that college route, you get it all. Shout out my teammate, my brother Brett Wallace, too, who just came in. But it's like this, man. I ended up telling the Major League team, like, look, I'm going to go to college. They upped it up again. They went to 875,000 at that point. But I was secure in my mindset, bro. I was secure in my heart. And I drove down to Miami, packed my stuff up. We drove down to Miami. They gave me $875,000 on the Major League side. And I just said, I don't want it. You didn't give me the million.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out here and see what I can do at University of Miami, which made me the highest, turned down the highest amount of money to ever make it to the University of Miami campus at that time on the baseball team. They walked me to my class, everything, to make sure I wouldn't sign, because you have to go into the classroom for it. So I legit got walked to class by some of the coaching staff, and people don't even really know this story like that. They walked me in, they pretty much got me in the classroom, and it was like, all right, now we got you here.
That's crazy.
Everything. And to be honest with you, the way God works, that first year, Roger Tomas was the shortstop before that year. Walter Diaz was the second baseman before that year. Sophomore, junior, guys older than me. And I came in as a freshman. I won my job, I became the second baseman. I started the first game I started, and I took it from there. I started the rest of the season. That same season, I was an All-American. That same season, 2006, the whole team, we went to the College World Series. That same season, we got a call in the College World Series, and the USA team wanted to talk to me, Jemile Weeks. And we talked, and they were like, we want to fly you out, see if you can make this USA team so we can travel the world with you and win a gold medal and bring you back home. I went out there, tried out, made the USA team. We went to Cuba, won a gold medal, came back home. Everything I prayed for, I got.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly what you said. You pretty much told me what you wanted to do, and then you did it.
Right.
But what about like the other thing? I don't think a lot.
My draft year, mind you, every year I was an All-American from there, and both years I shout out Cuba, and both years I made the USA team. Basically, the USA team wanted me for both years, and so my third year I got drafted. Of course, I was a first-round talent, and they signed me for $1.9 million, which more than doubled what I was going to get out of high school.
Yeah, that's crazy. But like going back to the high school decision, and knowing that, I know a lot of people don't really know that like baseball is the same thing as football, and you have to stay there 3 years. Was that like a factor too, where you're just like, damn, like I got to stay there 3 years at least? Because like it'd be way different if you were like, all right, I could just go ball out for one season and then get like a higher bonus if you get drafted.
Yeah, you know what? It was definitely it was definitely something I thought about. So I was like, you can get injured, you can have
Yeah.
anything can happen to you in 3 years, and you got to go these 3 years or be 21. That's the
Yeah.
ruling. So I wasn't going to be 21 within that time. So I was like, I got to go to this school for 3 years and ball out. But you know what? My mentality was this. You want to go play pro ball and you want to go be the man. You want to go out there and make it to the major leagues and be somebody and make it. Why can't you go to college and ball out there? If you can't ball
Yeah.
out, talent level is going to be up in pro ball. You're playing against grown men at that. If you can't ball out at college, then, maybe your track record going into professional ball won't be as solid as what you thought. So I took it as a challenge. I was going to go to college and give everything I got. And that's how the story ended up. Pretty sweet.
Gotcha. So yeah, what was your overall experience like at Miami, like on the field and off the field?
You can't off the field. Right. Everybody knows. So listen, on the field, the dopest experience I've ever had. You know what I mean? One of the dopest I've had. Like, I gained brothers on that team. You know what I mean? I gained guys that had a hunger, had a drive to be great. We went to the College World Series twice and 3 years, you know what I mean? Which is not common at all. So I gained brothers at that time, man. That experience was dealing with a bunch of guys that already had professional mindsets, that already had that aura of we're going to go out here and win a championship no matter what, and nobody's going to stop us, nobody's going to beat us. And, you step across those lines, you got a fight coming. And I love that. You know what I mean? That was the thing that drew me to the U. When I was coming up with the Pat Burrells, the Ryan Brauns, the John Jays that I played with, Eddie Rodriguez, all of those guys were before me. And I was driven by that. Chris Perez, you know what I mean? I was driven by that. And I got there and we were able to bring that energy. Off the field, you just had to manage your time, man. Off the field was different. For some people, if you got that party lifestyle, you're going to have a tough time going to the University of Miami because you got to stay focused. You got to have skills and you got to stay focused, period. You know what I mean? There's never, like the city doesn't sleep. There's never a time you can't go do something. Everybody that's a regular, everyday student is always either in the Grove or they're going to the beach or, I don't know, they might be at Diamonds. There's no telling where they at. You know what I mean? But there's so much to do in that city. Like the experience was all around, helped me grow from being pretty much a child, to becoming a man and understanding time management and maintaining myself in the midst of all these options that were around me, man.
Yeah. Well, I was in college. I went to a small school up in Connecticut, and I went to visit my boy at Clemson, and I went there for maybe 4 days, and I was like, I want to graduate. I want to be going to class. That's all I know.
It's crazy. I mean, you got to look at it like this. Like when I say time management, our dorms, we had co-ed dorms.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you had the boys over here, the girls over here, the athletes over here. Nah, it was like, you know what I mean? So it was like the girls are across over here. You know what I mean? They might be next door, but they're right across. You know what I mean? You got this athlete, you got that athlete, this athlete, then you have regular students. It was just intertwined all the way. And I love the whole melting pot idea that University of Miami does. But if you're not a focused individual, man, it could be tough. It could be tough. But definitely bring that manhood out of you for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know now, I'm pretty sure the bigger schools, everyone almost has their own dorms, I guess. Say the football team, they all live in the same dorm and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of had it was kind of set up that way. Like the football team was like Pearson Mahoney. Pretty much the athletes, when it came to football, baseball, track was like Pearson Mahoney dorms. And then they had other dorms where some of the other athletes were closer to their facilities. But it was very much so intertwined. You know what I mean? You had everybody all in one place. And it made it a dope experience, to be honest. It made the experience crazy. Yeah.
So you mentioned before, but you got drafted first round, 12th overall in 2008. What was that feeling like? Because you you could basically bet on yourself, and you accomplish all your goals pretty much. Like, to that point.
Yeah, you can't, like, I can't give somebody that experience. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's crazy just reading it.
Yeah, man. Like, and first of all, let's just hit the elephant in the room. You know, you got a young black kid from the Orlando, Altamont Springs area, that's coming up with the declining numbers that you see in the game, 4 to 7% black, and you see myself and my brother come out of the same high school, same mother, same father, and have the opportunity to go first round, both of us. I can't explain that feeling. Like, what can I do? You know what I mean? It was literally mind blowing. Things I prayed for all came to pass. So, I mean, you just like cry on the inside, and you just enjoy your family around you, and you're just in disbelief, you know, kind of that this is going to happen. This is happening. You know what I mean? I had the opportunity in high school. I turned it down. Went to University of Miami, and I was fortunate enough to have a second opportunity and to go first round. Elated, ecstatic. I mean, there's not a word for what I felt. You know what I mean? Like, I was numb and just, you know what I mean, in a place where it was like everything that I was looking for, asked for, was happening.
How many of your teammates got drafted that year with you?
I want to say my whole team got drafted. Jesus. Myself, Yonder Alonso went first round. Carlos Gutierrez went first round. Blake Tecody went like second round. Dennis Raven went second round. I think Blake might have went third round or something like that. We had Yasmani Grandal was on our team. He got drafted the next year. He's obviously a stud that came out of LA with the Dodgers. We had Jason Haggerty. Kyle, everybody got drafted, bro. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Got drafted.
Actually, it's not crazy because it's like Miami, so.
Yeah, like legit, my whole team got drafted. We were number one the whole year, though, too. You know, we were on the whole year, and we didn't lose a series. We lost one series the whole year.
So, what about, like, where were you when you got drafted?
We were in super regionals. We were still playing.
Oh, okay.
I went to a nearby bar area, and they gave me my own lounge area where my family and some of the media could come. And we watched the draft right there on TV. They called my name, 12th pick, Oakland Athletics, and everybody going crazy or whatever. And, you know,
like what did you know, like, Oakland was taking you, or like what other teams were looking at you?
A lot of teams were looking at me that time. Actually, it's funny, Brett Wallace is in here. He might not even know this because we played together in the major leagues and the minor leagues. But I think it was the Padres or the Diamondbacks. They were talking between myself and Brett Wallace as the top infielders to get drafted. It was Yonder, Brett Wallace, and myself. Buster Posey at that time was going to become a catcher. So as the infielders, it was us three, and then you had Gordon Beckham right behind us. And yeah, bro, I was think I was the second one taken at the 12th pick. I knew Oakland was going to get me. If I would have fell further, I knew Arizona was going to take me for sure. The Diamondbacks, the White Sox talked to me, and three other teams that talked to me, about 3 or 4 other teams that talked to me about taking me in the first round for sure. So when the A's said it, and I was willing to accept slot, but they were going to take care of my school after I got done playing, which is what they're doing now. I said, let's do it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go play. Yeah.
Oh, so you're finished in school now?
Yeah, I did my first semester since playing. I was hospitalized 2 years ago. That's the only reason why I stopped playing. I was hospitalized. This is man, where's the cameras at? Because this is like, I haven't told anybody my situation.
We got some exclusive right here.
I left the game straight up.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I didn't know if you were retired or not, because I know you played in 2018.
Nah, I just left the game. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I just left the game. I got 2 kids. I had a situation with Mexico. I went out there to go play just for spring training. I was coming back to the States. Got sick, got hospitalized, and it's like, I'm here for my kids, so I'm not gonna call anybody. I'm just coming back. So I didn't come back. I let my agent know, Gary Sheffield at the time, and I kept it moving. I just started getting into my community work when I could start moving again. And then literally last fall is when I went back to school. Um, and it's funny that you mentioned that school thing, because I had to take a leave of absence before this COVID-19, because I had a tryout with a team that was going to happen about a month and a half ago to get back into playing.
What, you were trying to get back in the majors?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tryout set up.
So you're not retired?
Huh?
So you're not retired?
Nah, I'm kind of doing what I want to do. If they don't want me to do it, then they can take the jersey off my back. But the opportunity,
Gotcha.
I'm prepared. And I'm a veteran by all means, you know what I mean, and experience-wise. So I would love to get back on the field and be able to do what I love to do and what I've been fortunate enough to do for so long. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought you, not by the way you look. I thought you were older just because I remember you playing like a while ago, and I guess I was in high school still, or college when you were in the majors.
Yeah. Oh man, keep me young. Keep me young. I'm trying to say I'm old for the game. Keep me young.
No, you're young. You're only 33.
Yeah, I'm 33, man. I still got some prime years left. You know, I had a difficulty getting back because of my hospitalization, but I'm definitely healthy now. I'm definitely stronger now. And, that's why I think I was given the opportunity to go out there and show them that I was healthy. But COVID-19 has messed everybody up. So.
Yeah, pretty much. What are you going to get your degree in?
I started off in business management. I ended up switching over because obviously I've been through life since I left school when I was 21 years old. So now I switched over to business law.
All right, that's dope.
Yeah.
Do you want to be an agent or something?
Agency is definitely. I'm more so mogul minded. I love community work. I've been doing that since I was born. Two leaders in the community, also coming from a lineage of religious pastors. I call myself a believer. I'm not so much religious, but at the end of the day, community work has always been a part of my family and a passion of ours. But the agency, protecting players, protecting their wealth, and protecting their futures. Because it is true that 75 to 80% of athletes, professional athletes, they go broke within 2 years of their professional experience. So once they retire, within 2 years, they usually go broke because of short earning periods and high spending periods. So I would love to be a part of protecting players and putting them in positions to win and decrease that number of guys going broke after their career.
Yeah. I mean, I think one positive out of this is maybe a wake-up call to not just professional athletes, but all people, just to save your money. And because times like this, you never know. I mean, this has obviously never happened before.
You got to invest. You know what I mean? If you invest in the things that can pay you small dividends or pay you small rental income, small checks that are coming in here and there, and you're never at a loss, you can always turn that into a bigger profit. That's the direction you need to go if you're looking at sustaining yourself after your career. You know what I mean? A lot of guys come with this heavy pitch of the stock market and things. A portion of your funds should go into the stock market, but you shouldn't be so volatile that you're not looking out for the established things, the assets that are more established and more sure. You know what I mean? There's just a variety of things that athletes can do to protect themselves for their long-term futures. And through my experiences, being taken advantage of and being a learner myself, to learn things on my own and then ask questions to my nearby counterparts, I've learned quite a bit of things that could help athletes sustain their wealth in the long run.
Yeah. Now going back to when you got drafted the second time, what it's kind of funny because it's the total opposite, but what was your first big purchase?
Oh man, what did I get? I got what you're not supposed to get.
A car?
I bought a car immediately. I bought a car which will always be with me until the wheels fall off. I bought a Range Rover Sport because I wanted that, and I said I'm gonna keep this car until the wheels fall off, and I still have it to this day. I still drive it.
Well, see, that's dope though.
Yeah.
Because now you still got it.
Hey, I didn't waste the money. I got 10 years.
Oh yeah, you're good. Yeah.
You know, great investment. Then I took care of my family, man. To be honest with you, I took care of my family. I did some things in the community, my church community. I'm a giver by trade, just naturally. Took care of my community and my parents is what I took care of. And yeah, from there I went and purchased a house, you know, nice, decent, nice size house, and started investing, small investments here and there. I wish I was more knowledgeable. I would have made some different investments, but you know, the real estate thing, investing in my parents, those were two things I was passionate about, and I'm happy about those things today.
Yeah, and then take me back in the minor leagues. You kind of shot up pretty fast, like 2.5, 3 years. What was it like to make the major leagues, and then like what was your first game like?
Well, in the minor leagues, man, it's dog eat dog world down there.
Yeah.
You know, 18-hour bus rides, if nobody knows. 16-hour, 12-hour bus rides. These are in the lower levels.
Yeah.
All the way through Double A. I started off at Low A. Tore my hip flexor the first 20 games. Severely tore my hip flexor. Rehabbed it back, no surgery. Came back, went to High A. Hit 295 or 298, 299 at High A with like 13 home runs. Then I went to Double A. Hit like 5 or 6 home runs in the playoffs because they called me up that same season. Came back the next year. Went to Extended to work on my body, and AAA. In the minor leagues, man, I just like the grind. You got to appreciate the grind. You got to appreciate when I was in the PCL, which is AAA, where you start flying on planes, so they give you that feel. The game might start at 7. It might end at 11 o'clock p.m., right? You're going to go eat, so you might get to bed at 12:30. After you go to bed, the wake-up call's at 3 a.m. You get up at 3 a.m. You go to the airport. Say you're in Tucson, Arizona. So you go to the airport at Tucson. You're going to fly at 7 a.m. So you're going to go from Tucson at 7 a.m. to Las Vegas because it's never a straight through flight for whatever reason. I still got questions on that. But you're going to go to Las Vegas for your stop. You're going to be there for an hour. You're going to jump on a flight, then go back. At that time for me, it was Sacramento, right? So you're going to get into Sacramento at like 12 something, 12, 1 o'clock. You literally take your bag, get everything, go back to your apartment wherever you live, put your stuff down, lay down for 3 hours, and you got to be at the field at 4:45, 5 o'clock, you know, and play a game. And when you're a guy or a first rounder like myself, you're playing.
Yeah.
You're playing. So hope you're not too tired because you're playing. You know what I mean? And they're going to get it out of you in the minor leagues, man. And, you know, I spent 2 months in AAA. I think I was hitting close to 330 at that time with like 4 or 5 pumps, home runs. And I got called up, man. And that was one of the most exciting times of my career again. I realized how blessed I am to have so many moments in this baseball career. I got called up the first day in the big leagues. I was in Baltimore. We played against the Orioles. Shout out my brother Adam Jones over there. Pedro Alvarez was over there, but I knew a lot of guys there. They led me off first game, straight off the flight. I barely slept, just came out of a game when they told me, and they led me off first game. I was like, what? And off of that, Jamon Taylor Altamont, what's up, bro? And from there, they had Mark Ellis. If you remember Mark Ellis, second baseman, many years with Oakland Athletics. They put him at first base to make room for me. And I struck out first at bat looking, didn't even swing. I couldn't see the ball.
Who did you face?
Jake Jabakowski.
Okay.
And I couldn't see the ball. I don't know what happened. Like, they rubbed the balls up. Like in AAA, it wasn't like that. So when I got to the big leagues, they rubbed the balls up with the, with the clay or whatever. And yeah, with the baseball rub, he's throwing fastballs, and the ball was like brown. It was dark. So I was taking the pitches like, okay, I'm good. All right. I didn't really see that. So maybe that was me. Let me get back in here and make sure I see it. He threw it again, and I was like, that's not me. I can't see the ball. And he threw another one fastball outside corner. The umpire was like, oh, and I was like, oh, check out, like, shouldn't have let me off today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my first experience, man. I did not get a hit that first game, but the next game, it was on and popping after that, for real.
Do you remember your first hit?
Yeah, it was a double, left field corner. You can see that highlight all day.
All right.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You know, somebody made something. I got like 40,000 views on there. I wish I could put it. Not at the pain. So, but yeah, it was a double left field, man, at Camden Yards. And I got to second base, clapped my hands, pointed to the sky like I usually do. Yeah, definitely a dope experience. Definitely.
What about what's your feelings on they might like full eliminate some of these minor league teams?
It's gonna be a lot of crushed young men, crushed kids. I mean, eliminating minor league teams, some of the minor league teams is literally. I can tell you one thing it's going to do. Colleges need to wake up and get ready and get on their recruiting job heavy.
True.
These kids are not going to be eligible for pro ball. So you got a bigger pool of kids coming. So that's directly going to impact the college space, and they'll be able to grab more talent and make the college space more competitive if they're proactive about this. On top of that, I got to speak from my own perspective. Like last year, I think there was in the first 5 rounds, you might have had 17 minorities drafted.
Mm-hmm.
So I think HBCUs and colleges like that have an opportunity to grab those athletes, historically black colleges and whatnot, those minority athletes as well. They have a chance to up their talent and their ability to compete. So I think it's a great thing for the college space. For the professional space, man, it's shooting some dreams down, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like then it might, like a star might be lost, almost.
Yeah. No, it's not might.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Somebody
Comes
out of the lower. Somebody comes out of the lower levels in the minor leagues and start that Cinderella story, and they're that guy that you're like, guy was undrafted free agent, and you're not gonna hear that this time.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the other crazy thing is right now it's the opposite in basketball, where now these kids are signing with the G League teams instead of going to college. So, and now in baseball, it's about to be the opposite. So that's crazy.
It's crazy, man. I hurt for those kids, man. That gonna lose that opportunity. The space is gonna get so much smaller. Make it more competitive. We can say that.
Yeah. What do you think about? I know there's not that much detail on it about like the players. They could make money off their names now, their likeness.
Dope. They should.
Yeah.
They should. Come out in the college.
But what about baseball players? Because I feel like college baseball doesn't get that much recognition.
Not at all. And I think it should as well, because when it comes down to it, Major League Baseball is a $1 billion industry. They've been profitable every single year of their existence. I don't know what this year is going to do for them, but ever since their existence, they've been profitable. So they've continually grown at the Major League level, and these are the guys that you're pulling from, the college space. High school and college spaces, you're pulling these guys in and profiting your company off of them in the long run. NCAA is doing the same thing, bringing these guys in, profiting off of them. So yeah, you got first rounders in baseball. They're making $1 million, $6 million these days, $5 million, $4 million. First rounders are making that, guaranteed. So absolutely, they're bringing so much publicity to NCAA sports, so much publicity to the schools that they're at, so much publicity to Major League Baseball, because the fans at that level are looking at the new prospects coming in, and they're hype about it. So these kids are bringing you so much value for nothing. You know what I mean? No, they should get their name. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you think MLB should help like college baseball and like trying to get it more on TV and stuff? I don't know if that's possible, but obviously that'd be cool.
I feel like NCAA they can do it. They can lift this thing from their own bootstraps. They have the power, they have the network, they have the connection to do it. When they want to put a University of Miami on there, they get them on there. When they want to put, a Vanderbilt or a Stanford or LSU, they get on TV enough to be seen and to be felt. Do I think the MLB space can help them and do more to help them? They can. They can do anything. If we want to be honest, MLB can do anything. Whatever they don't do is because they don't want to do it, in my opinion. So absolutely, they can help out in that space for sure.
And what about in your playing career? Let's go through some like. What was it like? You got to play versus your brother, right?
Yeah, that was more in spring training. So
okay, yeah, because I know you were in the American League mostly. He was in National League.
Right. Actually, as I started going out of the game, and I was kind of going through that stint of minor league, major league, the up and down. One of those stints, the A's played against the Brewers, and I wasn't up. I was like, you know what I mean? But we did play against each other in spring training, and that experience was monumental experience. Something I think both at that point, once we knew we were going to make it, it was like something that we always wanted to do, and we got that opportunity. We got photos and everything. Our family was going crazy about it, so that was big just for us, man, on the family point, and I think big for the fans as well at that point.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know what the stat is, but I'm pretty sure it's low to have a brother in the same major leagues at the same time.
Yeah, I got to keep bringing this up to you on your show. I got to do this because I got to keep it real with you. You know what I mean? Two brothers, you know, same mother, same father, black, right? Major League Baseball, black. First rounders, not like 20th pick or 30th. Yeah. He was second pick overall. I was 12th pick overall. Both reached major league status, both of us. I think you might have one group of brothers in the history of Major League Baseball that has ever done that, and I've never heard ESPN or anybody do a story on us to really make that like a focal point. But you can't even find two black brothers other than the Upton brothers, I think, first rounders at the major league level. I think the Gordon brothers might be next, but it wouldn't be two first rounders at that point. So it's historical. It's rare, and you won't see it.
Actually, that would be a cool interview, all four of you guys, the Upton brothers and the Weeks brothers.
That would be one. You're on to something.
All right, so yeah, I asked James this too last week. I think it was last week we did the interview. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. But what I know you said you have your foundation. So what could you do to get more African Americans to play baseball and get in the major leagues or minor leagues?
Yeah, very interesting question because we talked about this last night on our show in the midweek night game. Shout out Kezia. How you doing, Kezia? Does Upstart Black Schools, living Black history, most definitely. What we can do for the youth today, honestly, we have to bring the resources to their spaces. There's not enough resources in the Black community for these kids to really enjoy the game of baseball and learn the game of baseball. On top of it, if you really look at what's happening with Major League Baseball, they're bringing their resources outside the country to the Dominican space, to my brothers in the Dominican, Puerto Rico. They're bringing it out there. And so what's happening, you probably got 15 to 20-something teams that are doing Major League Baseball training for kids at the age of like 10 years old and getting them groomed by Major League talent and Major League professional instruction, and then drafting them and getting them signed over into the States by the time they're 16, 17, 18. That has never been done in the Black community. So for me, we have to lift ourselves by our own bootstraps at this point, or keep knocking on the door for the higher level resources to realize like there's a consistent decline that's unnecessary in the game. You know what I mean? So things that me and my brother are doing, this is the initiation of that. You know, we get 200 kids in December. We bring them. We open it up for all kids, but we leave space for the underserved community to get in for free, right? And so we bring them in. We get them in for free, and we give knowledge of the game. We give them avenues to join teams that are already there. We've also had through our city manager in Altamont Springs, Frank Martz, he's opened up the opportunity to me to allow some of our kids to play for free in their little league. Or at discounted prices. Maitland Little League offered the same thing. So we're getting a lot of things going for the young kids, but this has to be more of a broad international ordeal because the resources aren't there. Then when you don't have the resources there, let's go back to the training. We have a lot of black coaches that, because all of our kids are obviously being trained for football and basketball, these coaches, to keep our kids inside the game, what they're doing is coaching football and coaching baseball to keep our kids inside the game. So you're not getting usually elite level training for our kids to understand the adversities of the game, to understand that, you know, baseball is a game of failure, period.
Yeah.
The guy 300, he's a Hall of Famer. So for me, that's 7 out of 10 times you're going to get out your whole life, your whole career to be great. It's a failure sport. It's like life. Our communities aren't used to failure, nor we don't like adversity. When we face something, we like to win it. When we don't have an opportunity to win at it, we feel like it's not for us. And so we have to instill inside of our youth those values of, no, you face adversity and you got to walk through this adversity and you got to stay in this adversity and you got to go through this adversity and you'll get the benefit of it on the back end of your training. The kids in the Dominican Major League spots they're getting that. They're getting that from a very young age, and we're not getting that. So it's guys like myself, guys like my brother, the D. Gordons, if he watches this. We had Southern University's coach, Carrick Jackson, on yesterday. He's got to get into that. FAMU, y'all got to get into the communities and really go from the ground level and get your ground level coaches tuned in on proper teaching, proper coaching, put music in the field, culturize the game. When you get to the major league level, it doesn't matter whether you're white, black, Dominican, Hispanic, you know what I mean, Asian. Everybody's listening to Drake. Everybody's listening to hip hop. So it's culture. The culture is there, but it's not in the youth space. Yeah. And black kids are, you know, we're groomed towards culture, and our culture is more music. It's more rhythm. It's more flow, right? And all these things have to come. And then you tack on the back end. I put in this last, most people put it first, but I'm putting it last. The price to play baseball. The travel ball space is too expensive. I mean, you're talking $2,000, $3,000 a month, right? To be able to be on a travel ball team. And the parents in these communities aren't making $2,000 a month. So they can't give it all to baseball. So it's not important to do it that way. We got the resources. Major League Baseball has the resources. RBI program has the resources. What are y'all doing about it? If you're not doing it, give us the ball and let us do what we got to do. Because we're doing it regardless, but it can move faster if we work together and make it happen.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is too, just like I think kids in general think like baseball isn't cool. So like, how do you think you could pull kids away from playing like basketball or football, or like not even pull them away, or like focus on baseball instead of those other two sports?
Music.
It's music.
Real quick, yeah. Music. I think music is huge. I think everybody loves the walkout song. Everybody loves to play the music. It makes it fun. It gives it life. If you want young black kids to play, you got to give it life. Football's, you got action going at all times. They got music going. You got the whistles going. You got this going. Basketball the same way. There's trash talking. There's this going. There's that going. There's music going. The whistles are going. Everything's going. Baseball's more of a still, calm, you know what I mean? Mental game. But if you look at the history of the game, which I'm sure a lot of the followers don't know, the Negro Leagues was competitive to the Major League Baseball leagues in history. And these are facts. Nobody's bringing them up. ESPN ain't going to bring it up. SportsCenter's not bringing it up. Nobody 30 for 30 is not bringing it up. But it's facts. Go look it up. And so at the end of the day, baseball in the black space was one of the strongest sports that we had.
Yeah.
Like legit. The Negro Leagues was like where people would come, they would do just what we're doing in the stadium. They have their drinks, this and that, but they would have maybe a dance on the field or something like that. They would have music on the field. They would make it fun, right? They would make, it's like if you're teaching a young kid to learn in class and he's not learning, you find a way to tailor to his learning style. That's it. Their learning style be bored. Their learning style is give us more culture. So give them more culture and they'll stay into the game.
For sure. Um, yeah, I mean, what else was I going to say? Oh, my boy said before, he said, you guys need a 30 for 30.
Facts. Hey, it's in the works. It's in the works. It's all in the works, bro. It's all in the works, you know.
Yeah, I think, that's what I was going to say. I think, like, if you guys had social media like it is now, like, I think it would have been different too. Like, I think if you guys had social media back then, like, in your primes, like, it would have been different because then they would have been seeing it. Like, social media obviously wasn't really big in the early 2010s, but obviously it's crazy now. And I mean, baseball in general is just doing a bad job on social media, to be honest.
Right.
Because they don't let, you know how, like, there's a million basketball pages? Like, really, because, yeah, MLB doesn't let them, like, let people share their content or something, or, like, use it.
Okay, got you.
There's something that they did. I don't know the exact terminology, but that was, like, one of the things. Because, like, say you post it, like, it automatically gets taken down.
True.
Yeah.
And I think you got a good point. Like, legit, if you just expand the visibility and the awareness that your people play the game too, yeah, you're gonna get more kids that want to do it, man. Like, awareness is everything. You see all the football players, they're gonna gravitate towards it because everybody's playing football. They see it. Basketball the same way. Everybody's playing it, they see it. So most definitely, visibility is a big thing.
Someone asked, what you know now, would you change where you went to college?
Would I change where I went to college? I'll put it like this. After my interview last night on the midweek night game with Coach Kerry Jackson at Southern University, I strongly would have thought about going to Southern University if I was not given the proper scholarship at University of Miami. I'll put it like that. The passion he gave it from a standpoint that I could understand and that I could feel innately. And so I would love to play for a guy like that, and I know my career would flourish. So I definitely would have went to a school like Southern University. Is it like that across all manners of HBCUs? I don't know that to be true, but I know at that school I would have second guessed going to a Southern University. Because of education and because of my brother already going there, I think I could be one of the guys that could step out and still go to University of Miami as a territorial respect that, no, we're this good and we're that good at the same time. But I think that I could encourage other young black ball players to now go to the HBCUs and go to different colleges because it makes sense. But I would have a reason to go to University of Miami because my brother's historically the best college hitter in the history of college baseball average-wise. I think it's like 472 career average, 495, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I saw, I think it was last year maybe, and it was, I think a top basketball player was thinking about choosing the HBCU, which I think that would, if somebody does that, like a top player does it, then I think then that'll domino effect.
Absolutely. Like I said, my brother was already that top player. Did that, but there was a bad job when it comes to promotion, like you said, visibility, the social media thing, or just making it loud. There was a bad job of that. And I just believe that I would go there for sure if it was based on the necessity of me being there for the sake of the young black kids that's coming behind me. I don't think I necessarily needed to go there because of mental fortitude. I'll say that, academics. I was tailored to go to a school like that PDWI because it was a territorial thing. It showed you that that type of ball player can flourish in any atmosphere. That would be the reason that I would still go to University of Miami. I would definitely encourage all other young black kids to go to HBCUs and be that one. You know what I mean? Go be that one. Because like the guy said on our show, shout out to my brother James Davison, Windy City Revolution TV. My coach. Yeah, Real Talk Sports Talk. He was on here with you.
Yep.
Shout out to him. But that space of college only needs one star to go, and then you'll connect the other stars to go. If that was necessary at my time, I would have done that. But like I said, my brother just did that when I came out. I didn't need to do that.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? What's going to have to happen is now that that space is broadened, it needs to go back to that. And that's how I feel about it.
I got you. All right, let's go into some fun questions before we get cut off, I think. I don't know. Actually, the other day, somehow mine didn't get cut off. I went like an hour and a half by accident, and I didn't know. But anyways, who's like the toughest pitcher you faced?
Cool. Felix Hernandez, the king.
All right.
Felix, big homie, King Felix, man. Seattle Mariners. When he was with Seattle with us.
What about we won't say any players, but what was like a team that you were like, oh, I'm about to eat today?
There's certain pitchers. It doesn't even matter the team. Like, I don't care who's on the field. I just know, bruh, him, I'm finna rock him today. Like, got it. Y'all want to throw him? He ain't got it. I would say in our division, which was the AL West, Seattle had a staff. You didn't want to see them too much. Our whole division had a staff. We had the Angels, C.J. Wilson, Derek Weaver. That was my division. King Felix, Furbush, Pfister. Texas had Holland. They had even Darvish came on the back end there. Across the board. So there wasn't really like an easy team to play against because all our teams were top level. I think I was on the bottom level team, the A's and Seattle. So I would say Texas, I would say I fared well against Texas a lot of times. Though. They had a couple of pitchers that I wanted to eat off of. You know what I mean? But it don't. Hey, whoever's on that mound, if you got something I can smack, it don't matter what's behind you.
Gotcha. What about last one? What's your favorite song right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm not even into the music space right now. I'm into
All right, what would be your like walk-up song right now?
Well, I'm gonna go with the one I was playing with. When I was playing, my walk-up song was I Know, Yo Gotti and Rich Homie Quan. Y'all go look that up so y'all know what I had when I was but yeah, Yo Gotti and Rich Homie Quan called I Know. Yeah.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you coming on. About to end in 10 seconds. So, yeah, appreciate you coming on, and we'll be in contact.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
Wait. Yep.